I imagine myself in a place of natural beauty. My spirit resonates with the beauty around me and reminds me of my own beauty and gentleness. I feel the peace of this place, and my spirit basks in the simple beauty of this peace. I enjoy the silent space around me. And my mind rests peacefully in the silence. As my spirit becomes free from worldly connections, I open myself to the awareness of the divine. I connect with the divine in my own way. I am silent and still before God. I surrender my spirit to the divine. I let God love me. I absorb the eternal beauty and love of God within my heart. I am worthy of this love. God knows me. God understands me. and loves me with unconditional love. God looks upon me with love only. God knows the beginning, the middle, and the end of me. I accept God's divine love, and together we become love. I am a child of love. I belong to the divine. I rest in the stillness of God's love. And I am bathed in peace and loving acceptance. With this love, I experience pure contentment. I release the pain of unsatisfied desires and complicated relationships, and I surrender to the beauty of God's loving acceptance of me. Together, combined in love, we radiate love to the people in my life. I send out heartfelt feelings of loving acceptance and appreciation to my family, to my friends, to my colleagues, I reach out to their hearts with pure love. I send them God's gift of pure love and support. My heart is overflowing with love.
Greetings of peace to everyone. So I hope that you had a better experience with the commentary that was played, which was a bit longer, around 15 minutes. So going through the course where you have the right understanding and the way to handle your mind, the mind will make sure that you are going to have that right experience, that right feeling. So it was just simply coming up with those words that are authentic, that are honestly coming from within. And you just go with the flow. And later on, connecting from within and connecting with the divine in your own way of how you can connect in a very loving way. And you'll be able to get that experience of going in a higher frequency, in a higher dimension. So hope everyone is okay. So who are in here, participants? Yeah, we have Hassan, Javan, Muna, Sajiv, Sarah M, and Sarah Clark. So thank you for meeting up until the last session. So again, this session is a culminating session of how we can practically use this kind of meditation to be able to deal with situations that come along the way, which we cannot control. So let me start with my PowerPoint. So the powers of the soul. Discover or perhaps remember and connect the power within yourself. If somewhere in our lives, at a certain point in time, or we can perhaps remember somebody where they're able to go through certain situation incredibly, you would say amazing how that person, or you could say somehow to a certain experience that you have had in the past, I really don't know how I was able to go through with that situation. And he says, yes, I was able to. What does that mean? That there is an enormous power that we really have inside. One, We may not be aware, or we don't know how to connect with that power. And that is exactly what we are going to do tonight. So what is power? Power is the ability to influence someone, ability to influence or change an outcome. You influence or change an outcome. And one thing here, we have a lot of powers. The power of, let's say, the energy, electricity, the power of the sun, and so on. As you can see with all of this, the power has really the ability to put a kind of a change, create a certain kind of impact on so many people, on a certain situation. So what we're going to take up here will be a personal power, which is a source of influence and authority a person has over, first of all, forget about others, but over himself and others or situations. So what is that personal, what is that power that I have? How can I go into that power? And how does that apply? So I can move on with life with ease and enjoy. So let me share some quotes with you that really, indeed, quite a number really have that affirmation that there is a kind of subtle power, but very powerful thing that we have inside. We all have an unsuspected reserve of strength inside that emerges when life puts us to the test. They say when a difficult situation comes, either you put the worst or the best. So now we choose the best. Feel your inner power. Success is just waiting for you. We just have also to have a better way of looking at what success is. We gain strength and courage and confidence by each experience in which we really stop to look fear in the face. We must do that which we think we cannot. So that's the way really to move on. As they say, move out from your comfort zones. So let's start, let's move on. Getting into that power, the powers of the soul. Basically, there are 8 of these powers. The power to withdraw, the power to pack up, the power to tolerate, the power to accommodate, the power to discern, the power to judge, or the power of judgment, sorry for that, the power to face, and the power to cooperate. So for us to easily remember, there is the wheel of the power here. The picture is not so clear, but it is discernible. You can see. So we start with the power to withdraw as the turtle. So see the turtle there, tiny turtle. The head is coming out. And I will explain why the symbols that we have here is assigned to this particular power. Then the power to pack up, those are supposed to be luggage, the one with red. Luggage, pack up. So like the backpack, no? It's like pack up. Then the power to tolerate is the tree, which is laden full of fruits, and it is exposed into several elements in storm, in hot weather, but amidst those situations, the tree stands tall and ever ready to give. So that's also one aspect of the tree, ever and ever ready to give. It has always something to give. The power to accommodate is the ocean, the sea. So that's clear. No? So we are lucky here in Bahrain. We are surrounded by the sea. We are surrounded by water. And it's so nice these days. We see a lot of people going through this ocean. And going into this, for me, gives me a different perspective of my meditation, enjoying meditation with nature, particularly the ocean. And then the 4 powers would relate now to how I am relating with the external. The first 4, withdraw, pack up, tolerate, and accommodate, would be more on how I can relate with them. And then we go outside. And these are the powers that we need to be able to put that kind of impact on the external, on the world outside. And the first is the power to discern. Discern, these are supposed to be gemstones. And like a jeweler, it needs a kind of a special instrument to be able to determine which is the real stone, the real gold, the diamond, the most precious gem amongst the stones or the gems. And then the power to judge. The power to judge is represented by the scale to weigh, yeah, to judge. And then the power to face is represented by this person who is at a certain ground, higher ground, overlooking the sea, which is in turmoil, which is in storm, and it's just facing it at a certain elevated distance. So here it would refer to our attitude. And then finally, to culminate, if we're able to go through with this, then the most beautiful thing we can offer to the world is to cooperate. And cooperation here is represented by two different colors of hands clasping together, joining together as one. So ultimately, with us coming from differences, a lot of differentiation, still we can come up with one in unity. So let's go into the discussion of this. The first and foremost power is the power to withdraw, introversion, going inside, because the switch is inside. It is hidden. So we need to be clear from the influences. So take note that we have the body, and the body, because we are so used to considering what is real by what we see, by what we hear, what we touch, by what we smell, what we taste. All of this have created certain kind of habitual influence on us. So that's why the first thing is to like unmute, is to disconnect with all of this connection, because a lot of influences can come, plus the fact that whatever we have experienced through our body, through our physical senses, definitely has been recorded in my subconscious. So there is the trigger, and most of the time, what will come out, the response that I will have will be based, if I am not paying attention and I don't put that kind of switch that will lead me to that inner power, then I will be just out there being influenced by the others. So much of the influence by the external, what we hear, news, what we hear. So can you imagine that at the beginning, we're so afraid to take the vaccine because of a lot of the news, true or not, but a lot of falsehood into that, with what is the vaccine, what is the virus, and so on. So what created the fear are those things that we have allowed ourselves to be exposed with. So imagine, already what we think about will already create that kind of picture. And then we get to hear more about this, we get to see more about this. So opening up these senses unnecessarily exposes ourselves now to unnecessary threat, most of the time fear. So it's like you see a tiger. So once you see a tiger there, it will create that fear. But the fear is like a tiger, which is paper. It's a paper tiger. So what do we do if it's paper? You just have to know that it is paper. You can just crumple it. It had been built up by the thoughts that we put based on a lot of things that we have. So to deal with that, with what is inside, I have to learn to, like the turtle, what does it do when the danger comes? And this is one thing peculiar and different about the turtle. The turtle will, what is peculiar about the turtle? When the danger comes, the head goes inside, the legs goes inside. And imagine why the shell is like that. It is a camouflage. So it will turn out to be just like any of the stones out there. So that's the way it's able to protect itself from those danger. That kind of camouflage does not go and attack and fight. No, it does not have that capacity, but it will just go inside. It will just withdraw. It will go into that introversion. So which means physically, in the field of matter, in the field of 3-dimension, the kind of energy that we have is on a low level. If I would want to come up with that subtle power, I have to disconnect with this low level of identification, identifying myself into this, to be able now to access the inner power. So that's the first sign of mastership. That is, I should be able now to handle this physical organs. Remember, this is Raja Yoga, Raj, a master of my kingdom. And the first that you have to deal with in this kingdom is the kingdom of my body, the kingdom of I have my senses. I am supposed to be a master of these senses, not the senses being a master over me, not my senses being influencing me. I have to influence. So it is in your power to withdraw yourself whenever you desire, whenever you want it so. Because perfect tranquility within consists in the good ordering of the mind. Then you can deal with the mind. I'm reminded actually with the stories, these superhero stories that we have, which is, time tested. You can see that people will always, in different generations, will always watch Superman, Spider-Man. They just put it in a different way. Now, what is common to this? Superheroes that really attract audience. Notice that for Spider-Man, Superman, to be able to get their power, to go into that power, what happens? They have to change their form. They change their form. They are not the human, the ordinary human, but they have to come up with the thing, get rid of that being human, and go into a different dimension, which is actually our story. So I have to be going into that superhuman. If I'm just in that ordinary level of that human, just the human, not even a being, but the human, what happens? I will be into that. I will not be able to access the power. And that is the condition that is given for these superheroes. You only can gain that power if you go beyond being human. So you go beyond with what you see. There is something more. Go beyond with what you hear. Go beyond with what you touch. Because there is something more real than what you actually see in your eyes, with what you hear, like with your ears. So that is the initial step into that switch of that power. So the next thing that you deal with after you have unmuted or you muted yourself is now to deal with what is happening inside. So to pack up. And the symbol that we have here, so this is bigger now. No? You have the luggage. So 1, 2, or 3. So pack up means to remove all excess, all the expansion. So when we go again into our action and interaction there are a lot of things that happen, a lot of memories, a lot of things to put. So what to do? We have just now to put them. What is needed? Okay, leave it. But what is not needed? Learn to pack them up. I always also give this story whenever I get this, is this, when I came to Bahrain, 2005, we are only allowed to get one big luggage and the luggage which is our check-in. So around 2 or 3 luggage that we have. Now what happens? So 2005 and now is 2021. So the things that I have in Bahrain accumulated, it will not even fit in one big cupboard, maybe two or maybe three. So the same thing. Why is it that when I came, I only came with the things that I need? And now what happened? I go out there, I go for something else, I keep on accumulating. The same thing, when we are in life, we always have relationship, interrelationship, and we always accumulate something or another in terms of memory, in terms of feeling, in terms of emotions. So how much of these things are really accumulated inside? How much of this do we really need? Do we need all of them? So look at the cupboard that you have in a practical sense. Do we really need all the things that we have put in the cupboard? If you notice that you have bought something and then for way, way back, and then you just put it there, you bought it because it's cheap, and then later on you find out that you did not use for how many years. And a lot of those things we don't use. How many pair of shoes do we need really? And how many are being kept there? So how many of these feelings, how many of these memories do I have to keep in there? And is it really necessary to keep? Because if we don't let them go, means letting go is not throwing them away. It's just that you set them aside and don't get into focus. Again, it's like this. When you go shopping and you carry one bag, so, or put it this way, okay. So I'm holding this object. It's like it's in my mind, like here, physically. So probably this will only weigh around 200 grams, okay? So if I hold it for 5 minutes, it does not matter. In this position, I hold this in 30 minutes, it does not also matter. But a little, you can already sense that it seems like it's becoming heavier. Now hold it for 1 hour, hold it for 2 hours, hold it for 1 day in this position. What happens? It feels like it's becoming heavier and heavier. Did we add up any weight into this? No. It's just that I kept on holding it. So it becomes heavier and heavier. Your muscles become stiff and you get that kind of pain. The same thing in the mind. So if you are going to hold a lot of the things of the past in there, naturally, this is where we get the burden. Plus, these are the things that I will use to filter a lot of things that will come at the present moment. So the past is always brought about into the present, and it always influences the way I am dealing with the present time. So now is the time when we're doing your meditation or this process when you go into the spiritual journey. It's about time. What do I really need? Do I really need to come up with these thoughts? Are these really necessary thoughts? Are these really important thoughts? The beliefs I told you, because a lot of the beliefs run. These are like automated programs that run our lives. Now is the time to check. Is it really necessary to keep this belief? The belief, for example, that life is a struggle. That you come up with this so that that people will see that working too hard. So check on the beliefs that we are keeping. Why is it that I am not experiencing the joy of life? Why I am not in that peace in certain relationship? There must be something that I am keeping that keeps that burden. So put them aside, let them go. It's like that image of, spring cleaning, cleaning up your things, and then just let go those things that you need. And you will see that you will just be left with essential things. And then when you are left with essential things, you can just travel lightly. It's just like when traveling also. The problem that we always have, as for example, Asians when we go home, Filipinos, no, also Indians when they go home, we see in the airport, who has the most luggage? Who has the overweight? It will be us. because you want to bring along so many things. But look at the men. The women, they will have a lot. But look at the men. They will only trouble with what? With one case, small case. And they have everything in there. So same thing. If I just have now to see what I need, not what I want, we will have endless of what we want, what I need. And then I'll be able to travel light and most comfortably. And if I have that attitude that this is what I need, I have enough, then the law of attraction would always bring us what we need in life. No? So from the excess, from the expansion, I need to come up with the essence. Like the tree there also. The tree have come up with the expansion, but ultimately, the tree, where does it come from? From the seed. That is where it has the power. So we may be able to be in a quiet room, but if I'm not able to handle my mind, then I will be so full of noise inside. And where is that coming from? From these things that are not needed, that are being kept in there. So stow away or just leave them where it is. You don't put your energy into that. Otherwise, the seed will sprout. The seed will come out again. The moment that we water and water by remembering, by telling story, and so on and so forth. So if you want to forget things, then I don't have to speak about it already. I want to forget this, but what happens? We keep on telling and thinking what you want to forget. Divert. So the more that we talk about it, the more the energy is it's more energized when you talk about that. So the pain is more energized and the pain goes deeper and deeper. So that's the power to back up. So internally, my mind should be light so that my intellect will have the right filter to be able to deal with the situation out there. And then it's able now to allow what we need. It is actually in there, my innate quality, my inner potential. So remember what I said, when I am in that introversion, in that state of the mind, that it's able to be stable in that pure thought that it truly wants to be, then that is already the switch of the power. Now, what will happen if I am into this? So, as I was saying, the switch power button, okay? Quiet is might. So, solitude is strength. Introversion is the power. So, the quiet and the solitude, the quiet is you need to disconnect from the world out there. So, I told you, because there are a lot of these things that would trigger a lot of things inside. Then, in solitude, what happens is, you deal with what is inside and you only come up with what you are, the being that we have in it. That is actually the power button. So there you start the power. Then what happens? You can access to your truth, to the innate quality of the soul. So feeling and having the faith and later on having the experience of your true self-respect. Why is this power to tolerate compared to a tree? Why? Because for the tree to be able to be strong, to grow healthily so that it bears fruit later on, it is dependent on the roots. So if the plant will have, no matter how much you take care of the plant or the tree as it is growing, if the roots are not healthy, what will happen? Eventually, the plant will die. Or if it may survive, it's not going to grow as healthily as it is. The same with us. The roots is like my self-respect. The way I see myself, the way I value myself, the way I love myself, the way I deal with myself. So that is my root, my true self-respect. And that self-respect is grounded. It goes deep, grounded beneath As you can see, it is hidden, but it is grounded. So my being, what is that now? The soul consciousness, believing, having that faith that I am the soul, and consciously put that awareness. It cannot be seen, that consciousness cannot be seen, but it's able now to grow, the trunk, which is the mind actually, to go into that state of thinking, so that later on, the crown, which will be the leaves and the fruits, the manifestation in terms of my behavior. So the roots, my consciousness. What kind of consciousness do I have? So when it is healthy, it's the soul. And it is to be deeply grounded, very stable. The faith that it is. And then it's able now to come up with that mental state, the trunk. And then your action, manifestation, the fruit. What kind of action that we have? We have discussed that in the law of karma. So if you have good roots, the seed is also good. Then definitely the mental state is good. Then I will have a good action. I will be strong. So what does that mean? So when situations arise, for example, here is a person who is angry and shouted at you, or blurted, had said some unpleasant words. Now, if we are very strong and grounded in our self-respect, then what happens? I'll be able to deal with that in a positive way. Or let's do the other one first. If my self-respect is not grounded, somebody will say unpleasant things to me, will shout at me. So what happens? So my ego is challenged. So I will also shout back. I will also say unpleasant things. So I will be angry. So what does it mean? Because, oh, why this person did not respect me? Why this person? No, I did something good to this person, and this person is not respecting me. So a lot of these thoughts will come. Now, when I am grounded in my self-respect, I don't take that as an insult. Rather, I will look at it as I'll pause and not take the bait of the anger to awaken my ego, and I will ask the question, why is that person angry? So we never know. There is something that might have happened why that person is angry. So sometimes people are just waiting for someone to pass on the bucket of anger. So as I told you, don't accept sorrow, so you will not give sorrow. So if that person in that fit of anger, so if I will be quiet and look at it in a different way, see, it's all about my perspective. I zoom out and look at it in a different angle, in a different way. Then I'll be able now to consider some other reasons why the person is angry, not necessarily that the person disrespects me. That is only one. And if ever the person does not respect me, then it's all up to me to accept that disrespect or not. So if it stays out there because I know who am I and I am grounded in that, then I'll be able to give mercy to that person. I'll be able now to see that that person is under the influence of anger. Why do I have to put myself on that level also? The person needs mercy. So at this point, if I can go to that level, no, but of course it goes further and further, then I'm actually doing myself good, and then later, that's the fruit. I can do good to others. Forget about others. The moment that you're able to keep yourself cool, you are in that frequency, not in the lowest frequency, actually. And that itself is already a big thing that we can do. So see, it's different when you are keeping that anger. No, because if we are just venting the anger in there, it will just take a certain moment to explode. How you're doing it is you're doing it with the right understanding. You are doing it with the right perception. You are doing it on a certain knowledge. And then that knowledge, you put a certain higher feeling, feeling of compassion, and this is where really the power comes. As they say, the love. That's why love, they say, conquers all. But I must have the right understanding, so I am not doing it as like suppression. But I am doing it with that understanding, and then put the element of that highest feeling, compassion, kindness, love, what it is, put the knowledge and the right feeling, then it is something that you won't regret, I would not regret, and it's a power. So it will create a kind of impact and a change. A golden personality is able to adjust with all people. Why? You look at yourself like in there. You look at yourself in your highest way. But of course, you will not look down at others, but you will also enable them to look at themselves also, to go into that golden pond also. So the way there is to be able to put myself up, I climb another step. I don't make the people bow down, go down, so that I am on the rise. I am elevated now. I rise over, and then I allow others also to rise over. So that is where we can go into the true sense of that tolerance. It is coupled with that self-respect, with that understanding, and that right feeling, a high level of feeling, love, compassion, kindness. The power to accommodate, which is like the ocean. So why the ocean here is used as a symbol? The ocean has so much space that it can accept any kind of thing that goes into the ocean. So many of you have been going now to, to our sea here, to our seaside, to the beach. And you can see that a lot of things are there thrown into the ocean. Does the ocean complain? No. And this is one thing of the human. See how it is. They get to enjoy, and they just leave their trash in there, thrown to the ocean. And really, it's so pathetic at a certain point when I've seen, the beach that I go, which is close to our place here. And really, how so many plastics, so many even masks, just thrown anything in there. But the ocean does not complain. Okay? Why? It has that capacity. Accommodate means it has a room for everything. But because the ocean is so vast, like the heart is so big, that it has the capacity, it has the power from within to just put what is out to be out. So things will just float. And then at the end of the day, early in the morning, what do you see along the shore of the ocean or the sea? The rubbish are just put ashore. Most of the time, the ocean does not take this rubbish with it. It has that sense of, that's why divers love to go into the depth of the ocean, because it has its purity, it has its pristine, it has that beauty that they cannot explain, different from the beauty of the world in it. Same thing. We are like that ocean. We have that power within that has the capacity to put that buoyant force, to make things to be out there and not to allow this thing to be drawn that will pollute the world that I have inside. So that each one will have a space. One of the things that people look now is for someone to hear them, for someone to understand them, for someone to give them a space. Even for us, what do we want? Give me a space. So when you know that there is someone giving you a space that you belong to, no matter what happens, then this is where the power to change and the power to move on would arise. So to dissolve within any negative remnants towards others and situation. So how does it dissolve? By just allowing things, the rhythm. And this is one thing I was looking at when I was there in the beach also, is to see also how the ocean works. It works in terms of the rhythm. It can go high tide, where it has a chance now to what? To clean up, move all the things. And then low tide, on what happens when it is low tide, okay? It does not smell good. And same thing. When we are that low, things exposed. No, okay? So have that capacity to be able to see the rhythm of life, to have that patience. I think this is one of the things that we have to learn from the ocean. It has a lot of patience to be able to go into the flow, into the rhythm. And life has a rhythm. We just know how to deal with the rhythm. Wait and see. Wait and see. Now we have the culture of hurry, 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 fast, fast, fast. And we don't even have the chance to see what is beautiful out there, to even breathe. How many of us really has the time to really breathe properly? We don't even realize at the end of the day, did I breathe? Did I have that consciousness of breathing? So there, no? Lesson to learn from the ocean. Merge and continue with the flow. Come from within, not come from the external. Because anything that you have there and you try to change on the external, what happens, like the ocean, there will be a lot of waves, a lot of that commotion in there, the tsunami. So power to accommodate. The power to discern, okay? So power to discern. Here I have that special instrument that we need to be able to recognize what is true from what is false. Especially nowadays, that a lot of the things out there are so glittering so nicely, so attractive, that they seem to be more beautiful, more attractive than the truth. The truth is very subtle. That is why we need a special image to be able to recognize that subtle thing. And that is the power. Oh, it's raining outside. So that is the power of the intellect. So you need what you call your third eye. It's not a physical third eye, but that awareness and that recognition that there is something more than what we really see with these eyes. So that's why if you see the wheel of these powers, so what is opposite the power to discern is the power to withdraw. So power to discern and opposite that is the power to withdraw. I can only see what I could not see, or the truth, by going inward. Otherwise, I will be loaded with a lot of those, let's say, entertainment, a lot of the excitement there, and I will be on that consciousness. So to go inward is to use the power of the intellect, my spiritual understanding, so I'll be able to discern, I'll be able to have that understanding and realization. I cannot move on if I'm not able to use my spiritual understanding, a higher level of understanding. Why we have gone so much in sorrow? It's because of the intellect, my spiritual understanding, my third eye is not functioning. It had been closed because I have been so busy on the externality of a lot of things out there. So we must have that way of, after doing action, interaction, I must have to withdraw. I must have to mute. Unmute, mute. Go inside, go outside. Go inside, go home, go out there. So power to discern. Well, it comes in time, especially the beliefs that I said that we have. We need to work a lot on the beliefs that are working in terms of navigating our lives. The power to discern will be accurate when we go beneath the surface behavior to see the intention, the tendency that caused that behavior. As I told you in the example previously, it gives us an accurate understanding, not only for other people, but also an understanding of our own self. So that's why the meditation is a kind of reflection that enables us to develop and make the mirror clearer. So I would be able now to see in a clear mirror with what is really the truth. The power to judge. You alone are the judge of your worth, and your goal is to discover your infinite worth in yourself, no matter what anyone else's think. So this is actually the challenge, to break the chain holding us that I should be doing what others think I should do, or it's because of what others think, what others see. Go beyond that. That is one of the examples. Now, why is it that we are using here the scale? So prior to power to judge, we have the power to discern. So based on my understanding, which will be that which I will use to be able to determine the right action that should match my truth, that should match what I should be able to do. So this is the aspect about the balance arm. On one side is, what is my standard? If my standard is based on truth, based on peace, then the action that I should do will be accordingly. Then there is equality, then there is that justice in there. But if my understanding is, or what I'm using is, I am a being of peace, that this is peace, and then what I'm doing is a different one, then it doesn't work. The manifestation out there will be different. So the power that I have will lie on how I am able to hold the truth on one arm, and how I'm able to maintain the truth so I can have that right choice of the action and carry out that right action. So remember the law of karma that we discussed, because the value of the action is based on the intention and consciousness that I have upon doing that action. So opposite the power to judge is the power to back up. Most of the time, what will negate this? At the beginning, we think that this is the right thing to do, but on its way of doing, something or another comes in between to negate or to put the value of the action down. Why? I have been influenced by my emotion. I have been influenced by beliefs. I have been influenced by past and so on. So these things can negate immediately and change that feeling that I have, that intention that I have in doing the action. So to be able to maintain that is, I have to pay attention that whatever is not necessary, I have to do away with it. I have to reprogram my subconscious. So what prevails there will be my innate quality, my inner potential. Then what comes along is the power to face, the confidence now. So we have the self-respect, you have your value, the self-esteem, that is now your value. The value that you have is in terms of the manifestation. Now the confidence, which is courage. The power to face is the courage. A normal person prays to God, don't give me problems. But a great person prays to God, give me the power to face my problems. Umbrella cannot stop the rain, but can make us stand in the rain. So confidence may not bring success, but gives us the power to face any challenge in life. So actually, when say problem, it's just not putting it in another way. This is a challenge in life. So this is how it goes. So opposite this again is the power to tolerate. So if I'm grounded with my self-respect, the way I see things, my filter will be different. the way I perceive things will be different. And I'll be able now to know the appropriate way by which I can deal with that. So one who is awakened, one who has in that realization state, when a storm comes like that person, would not go into the storm. There are two things. As they say, go into the eye of the storm. Or if you know the storm is coming, go on a higher ground. So if you are in the eye of the storm, as they say, this is where you are not affected by that turbulence of the emotions. The storm will be a lot of emotions that come. Or allow your intellect to work and look at things, go on a higher state of thinking so that you can see the different perspectives, the different angles of what the situation is. But what happens sometimes is we are in one perspective only. We are in one angle only. And that is my comfort zone. I don't want to move and then go into another place. I don't want to go at the back. I don't want to go in there. What somebody is at one side, what they see is what they see there. I am on this side, what I see is what I see also. So one who is realized will go now into a higher, in a different, they zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Because after all, what we thought to be the case is actually in terms of what I think. It's all in the mind. If you will only want to see dirty things, you will only see dirty things. Like we have somebody I know who's doing cleaning. And then there is one who would always look for something that is not clean and would always say, oh, this needs to be cleaned. Oh, that needs to be cleaned. Oh, that needs to be cleaned. And I told that person who is doing the cleaning is, well, that person will only want to see what is dirty. So sometimes we have to tell that it is, where is the dirt? It is all in the mind. So, and that thing is difficult to clean. So rather than looking at, oh, you clean this very well, but would want to see that, oh, this one is dirty, that one is dirty. Well, of course, we need to. But how many times have we been into situation appreciating and looking at the brighter side? And then you can go into what needs to be done, and it will give a different perspective. So anyways, so this is all about my mental state in terms of how I am able to ground myself into that self-respect. So challenging things will come, but it is all the way I am perceiving it. And when my intellect and my mind is clear, it's able to get that right decision and that right thing to do to be able to deal with that situation. Like, for example, the person who shouted at you. So you either would run away or you fight back. But if you are in that right state, you will know that you will have to speak to that person. Not to be quiet means to be quiet all the time. You will know that you will have that right timing to be able to speak to that person and thresh out the problem. What really is the problem? Not to come and speak to the person when you are in your state of anger. It's like going to the storm and be drowned also by the anger, and later on you will be drowned in that storm. So whenever you have to speak to that person, you come from that state of peace. And that is your protection. And that is the way by which we can serve and we can bring benefit to others. And it makes a big difference. Like that question that has been given. So irritation. So somebody, they don't listen to you or what? Yeah, that question. Pay attention. Listen. There is irritation. Now check, where is the irritation coming from? Is it really coming from the outside? Or is it coming from the ego that I should be respected? I am their father, or I am their teacher. I am older than they are. They should respect me. So this is where it will come. But when you don't have to ask for that, but when you are acting in a mature way, you be quiet, you come from that state of peace, introversion, withdraw, and then push the button, be a superhero, okay? You get rid of that human dimension, and then you speak with peace. So this will come in very handy when we really do practice meditation on that reflection. Do that rehearsal. It's just like you are preparing the situation where you think it is a problem or challenging situation in life will not come to your door and knock, hey, I come, that this challenging situation, I am coming. Sometimes you can see, but most of the time you cannot. They will not even knock at your door. It will be just right in front. So I should be able to do the practice of enhancing my spiritual immune system. People nowadays speak the best way to be able to deal with this COVID situation is to make your immune system stronger. That's the way by which you can deal with that. So take care of your body, have exercise, food, etc. But what about the mental state? That is also very important. So if I'm able to take care, and that is, I should have that pure, what is the food for my mind? Pure thoughts. What is the exercise? To go into inward, to practice being peaceful, to practice being loving, to practice, and these things that we did also to practice. So go into that reflection meditation. It's like the spiritual gym, your gym time to be able to strengthen your spiritual muscles. So when the situation comes, what will be triggered is that innate potential that we have rather than the anger, the greed, and so on, the attachment and ego again. So that is the power to face. And then that culminates the whole thing is the power to cooperate. And the power to cooperate is like the power to, it's the manifestation of the power to, power to cooperate, the power to accommodate. If I'm able to practice accommodation, I can give a space to anyone, then only can I offer my good wishes and pure feelings at any situation, at anything. There is a very good symbol of what? This namaste. Why is it that we fold our hands together? That no matter what the situation is, I give my blessing, I recognize my divinity here, okay? And I also, we do it like that, point at them. I also recognize your divinity no matter what. So it's a very beautiful symbol. Also here, what do? You hug each other. Why? What is that? It's also a beautiful symbol of we are after all one family. And that's the only way by which we survive in this world. And we are into that. See, we are moving on. The technology and all of these things, the pandemic is actually bringing us to our original nature, bringing us into oneness. And we belong to only one, which is very important. We are pointing this up. So if we only relate to the one, to that one, we can be one. And we can, and that is now the thing that will bind us together. As I've said earlier in my discussion, in the previous lesson, the only way by which we can come to one is to recognize and to work on our similarity. What will bind us together? What will bind us in terms of one? It is I, a soul, you, the soul, our Father is that supreme being. Then no matter how much differences that we have, we can understand, we can accommodate, and we are able to join hands and give good wishes and pure feelings. It is easy to give good wishes and really pure feeling when the person that you are with is kind. When the person that you are with, you like the person that you are with. But when it is contrast, you have a black and you have a white, it is where you get what you call that now a bonus. It's like you win the lottery and you really have that really great feeling, a very elevated feeling when you're able really to offer that good wish and pure feeling. This is the ultimate thing that will come. And we are working, as I could see, people work into that. We have not lost this one thing that will save humanity. So that through cooperation. So if we really reach out to each other, what happens? We can be one. There is this nice story about these redwood trees. So there's only a very few, and I think we have one in California. And these redwood trees, they grow so big, so large, that the diameter of one can be as wide as a building, big building. And how do these trees grow? They grow not deep, but they grow by widening the roots and reaching out to the roots of other trees. That's why when you go to the forest of these, they have what you call cathedral of these trees. A lot of trees that grow in there because their way to survive is to offer the roots to others, to the other trees. And when there is a baby tree of that kind, what they do is to offer immediately. They reach out to this and then allow it to grow its roots and offer that. So that's why you cannot kill or you cannot turn down the forest of this redwood because the roots are connected to each other. And that is where the power and the strength will come. But if, yes, they are connected, they are interconnected. So one of the kind of the trees that are strong is the roots can go deep down. But these redwood trees are sequoia. So if you have seen them, you're lucky, no? Because they say they're really beautiful and so huge. They intertwine. They help each other to be able to grow and to maintain the stability. So the same thing with us. We have been differentiated so much with identification in terms of my color, my religion, my wealth, my this, my that. So this is the thing that differentiated us. So we have to go within. We are actually one and the same. I, a beautiful soul, a powerful soul. You, namaste, okay? You are also a beautiful soul. Because we belong to one beautiful family. We belong to one only, to one source. So if we really practice this kind of consciousness, so eventually what we have as the falsehood will eventually go. And we can move on and express the beauty of this inner potential and really experience happiness in life. So this is the foundation course. If I'm sure, so practice, what I would tell you is to really find time for your meditation. And of course, this is only one level. You have to go into the depth of the understanding of what we have taken up. It may not be sufficient. So if you're really interested, you can type in the chat box if you would want to have, let's say, I will meet you again next week, maybe one day, to be able to deal with some questions that you have, or do meditation together, or go through certain aspects of this. We can do that. Maybe once a week, we can try that if you are quite serious in going into this. So I would suggest, if you want, on a Sunday, because for now, I am quite free on a Sunday. And let's put it this way, I'm looking at the clock because of this Ramadan, if some of you are into this. What I will do, 7:30, we have meditation just like what we did. And then like 7:45 or 7:50, we start with something else. If you have a question, then we can discuss that. How is soul consciousness? Those things that we have taken up, especially these different powers. I know that I need to go into the depth of this, but we have 8 powers to discuss. One by itself is already enough to discuss in 30 minutes. So perhaps we can have 30 minutes as a question and answer for, for clarifying things, if some of you are willing. So if you are available, if you want, you can type in the chat box your number, contact number, and your name. You can contact me in this number also, 339-44628. 339-44628. So I would see in the chat box if some of you are interested. 1, 2, or 3 will be fine, or 1 will be fine. So if you are interested, yeah, please type, because our brother who is doing the technical aspect, so type your number. So in case I can make follow-up. Janine? You want after Ramadan? Okay. So after Ramadan, if you would want, so shall we try? So yes means this Sunday. Those who cannot make it, then still we can come up with, this can be once a week. Okay, so I will take note of your number. So this Sunday, yes, this Sunday. So I'm going to have a session, let's say a special session, to have a question and answer, or to discuss further about law of karma or whatever. Same time, we can have meditation at 7:30, 15 minutes meditation. And then, so that those who would want to catch up, and then at 7:45, we can, and then to the most, we will not go more than 8:30. So it will be, if we can finish it in 30 minutes, let's say at 8:20, then we can have short meditation again. Yeah, same time. Deepak Bhai, so please take note of give me a copy of this in the chat. Thank you, Deepak, our brother in the technical aspect. Yeah, because this is just the beginning, really, for me, from 1991 until now, and that's about how many years. I feel that every time I give the course, there's a lot that I learn. There's a lot that I have gone through, not only in the 6 days or 5 days. So really, there is no better time but really to be serious about this at this time. And I am more than willing to give time for this, because I too will benefit from this. So really, it had been a pleasure. It has been so good to be with you, to have your energy with us. I will check if the recording of the session has been done by our brother. So I will check. If ever, then I will let you know. My number again. So this 33. My number is 339-44628. 339-44628. My name is Vicky or Victoria. My long name is Victoria. My short name is Vicky. So just a very short meditation to wind up. Oh, okay. The brother said you can be provided the recording if you are interested. So put there, you're interested with the session, with the recording, and the brother will give you. Okay, so we can just have 2 minutes in silence to turn inward and just connect with that power. Go beyond being human. There is more into it. The formless, the point of light, so light. That light that I am, radiating peace, abundance, radiating love, radiating joy. And these actually are the powers. When I don't keep any waste and just dwell on the truth, the positive, this is where the power comes. And when I connect with the divine in my truth, I truly would receive what the divine has been offering me for so long. The divine, my Father, wants me to be happy. It's just there. Now I receive this power. I receive the love. I experience the love. And when I experience this love, I can go to the world and offer the best gift of love, of pure feelings. The best return I can give to this beautiful life. The gift of God. It is in my hands to turn this gift into a treasure. And the way is to give. Then I receive. In gratitude for all that has been. No regrets. No what, no if. It's just the way they are. They have moved me into who I am today. I can leave them behind, learn from all of these things, and I can move on. Being joyful inside, because life that God has given me is good. I thank the Father. I thank the drummer. Maintain this beautiful feeling, this great feeling. So we say Om Shanti as a way to greet and to say thank you. And really, it has been a very wonderful and fruitful time being with you all. So I hope that the time will come that you can come and visit the center and be with us and also enjoy the vibration of the place. Om Shanti. Have a peaceful day ahead. Thank you so much.